Urgent Philadelphia Eagles fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Philadelphia Eagles updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Eagles fans, settle in because today we've got some breaking news that could shake up the roster as we head into the 2025 NFL season. Now, I know what you're thinking, what's going on? Are we losing someone important? Did something happen in training camp? Well, yes, and no. It's a story that involves competition, potential surprises, and some tough decisions that could define the future of this team. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single detail, because what's happening now could influence how the Eagles shape up for this upcoming season and beyond. Let's start from the beginning, because the Eagles are at a pivotal point when it comes to their roster construction, especially at the running back position. As many of you know, last season saw the departure of Kenneth Gainwell, who's been a reliable backup and a key piece in our offensive puzzle. Gainwell's departure opens up a spot, perhaps more than one, in the backfield, and the team has been actively searching for someone who can step into that role without a hitch. Enter A.J. Dillon, a name that might sound familiar to many of you, especially if you followed the Green Bay Packers during his 5-year stint there. Dillon, a second-round pick back in 2020, was primarily seen as a powerful, downhill runner, a guy who thrives on running between the tackles, especially in short-yardage situations. When he played for Green Bay, he was paired with Aaron Jones, forming a dual-threat backfield that kept defenses on their toes. Dillon ran for a total of 428 yards and scored 16 touchdowns across 60 games, with 3 consecutive seasons from 2021 to 2023 where he rushed for at least 600 yards. Those numbers are nothing to scoff at, especially for a backup, and he proved to be a reliable complementary piece, capable of changing the pace and providing a different look on offense. But, as we all know, in the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. Dillon missed the entire 2024 season because of a neck injury, a stinger that reportedly affected him quite a bit. It was a tough blow for him, and for the Packers, who had high hopes for their power back. Now, coming into Philadelphia, Dillon is trying to re-establish himself, and that's where things get interesting. The Eagles signed him on a 1-year deal, which is a low-risk, high-reward move. A player like Dillon can bring a lot to the table if he's fully healthy and in form. But he's got some stiff competition, and that's what we're going to focus on now. So, who's lining up against Dillon for that backup running back spot behind Saquon Barkley? Well, the competition includes Will Shipley, Avery Williams, Montrell Johnson, Shunderick Powell, and Lou Nichols. Among these, Shipley was primarily seen as a third-stringer and a return specialist last season. The former 4th-round pick from Clemson showed flashes of versatility, especially as a return man, and there was a lot of speculation about whether he could carve out a more significant role in the offense. Now, with Dillon's arrival, things could change dramatically. It's likely that Shipley will be fighting to stay on the roster, and his main competitor for that backup spot might be Avery Williams. Williams, a versatile player in his own right, has shown in past seasons that he excels on special teams, particularly in the return game. His ability to contribute on special teams makes him a valuable asset, and that could give him an edge over Dillon. Remember, in the NFL, roster spots are often won and lost on special teams contributions, especially for players fighting for limited backup roles. Williams' experience and special teams prowess could make him a favorite for the coaching staff when they have to cut down from 90 players to the final 53. But let's not forget about the other contenders, Montrell Johnson, Shunderick Powell, and Lou Nichols. These are young, hungry players, undrafted free agents or late-round picks, looking to make a statement. They're fighting hard to prove they belong in the league, and sometimes, that's enough to turn the tide. However, the most intriguing part of this story is how Dillon, with his NFL experience and physical style of play, fits into this puzzle. Will he be able to impress early in training camp and show that his neck injury is behind him? Or will the new faces, especially a player like Williams, steal his spot through their special teams contributions? Now, here's where things get even more interesting. A recent prediction by Jimmy Kempski from Philly Voice, who's been covering Eagles for a long time, suggests that Dillon might be on the outside looking in, at least initially. Kempski's projection is that Dillon, after just 2 months with the team, might find himself as the 54th player on the roster, just missing the cut. That's a tough spot to be in, especially considering Dillon's talent and NFL experience, but it also highlights how competitive this camp is going to be. The Eagles are known for their strong special teams, disciplined roster management, and a coaching staff that values versatility and special teams impact above all. Kempski mentioned that beyond Shipley, the Eagles have Dillon, who was signed in free agency, but also that Dillon missed the entire 2024 season with that neck injury. That absence might play a role in how quickly he adapts and impresses during camp. Remember, the Eagles have a history of being meticulous when it comes to injuries. If they see that Dillon's neck isn't fully healed or if it's going to be an issue, they might hesitate to keep him on the roster, especially when there are other competing players who can contribute on special teams and provide versatility. The other factor to consider is the team's offensive scheme and what they're looking for in a backup running back. Philadelphia's offense has evolved into a dynamic, multidimensional attack, especially with Jalen Hurts leading the way. The team values players who can not only run effectively but also catch passes out of the backfield and contribute in various packages. Dillon's power running style fits well with the identity the Eagles want to develop, but he'll need to show he's still got that explosiveness and that his injury isn't going to limit him. Furthermore, the competition isn't just about running ability. Special teams could be the deciding factor. Williams, with his return skills, could earn a roster spot solely based on his contributions on special teams. Dillon, on the other hand, will need to showcase his versatility. Can he contribute on special teams? Can he prove that he's fully recovered from his injury and still has that power and burst that made him a second-round pick in 2020? These are the questions that will be answered in the coming weeks as training camp kicks off. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league of surprises. Sometimes, undrafted rookies or lesser-known players step up and turn heads, stealing a roster spot from more established names. The Eagles have a history of doing just that, finding gems in training camp and preseason. It's part of what makes following this team so exciting. You never know when the next surprise might emerge. Now, speaking of the team's recent history, the Eagles have been building a very competitive roster over the past few seasons. After winning the NFC Championship in 2022 and making a deep playoff run, the organization has maintained high standards. They are looking for players who can contribute immediately, especially in a league where roster spots are hard to come by. The coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni and his crew, values players who bring energy, versatility, and special teams impact. Dillon's signing was seen as a smart low-risk addition, but he's going to have to earn his spot. No freebies here. Looking ahead, training camp and preseason will be critical for Dillon. As he works his way back from injury, he'll need to impress the coaching staff, show he's in shape, and demonstrate that he can be a reliable backup. The pressure is on him, but so is the opportunity. For Dillon, this is a chance to resurrect his NFL career and prove that he belongs in the league as a key backup. For the Eagles, it's about finding the best fit, someone who can step in when Barkley needs a breather, contribute on special teams, and add depth to a talented roster. And what about the fans? Well, I know many of you are already thinking about how this story unfolds. Will Dillon make the cut? Will he be a surprise cut just before the season starts? Or will he turn heads early in camp and push his way onto the roster? The truth is, we'll only know in the coming weeks. But one thing is certain, the competition at running back is fierce, and every snap, every practice, every preseason game will be crucial in shaping this roster. In terms of expectations, Eagles fans should be excited. The team has a solid foundation, and adding a player like Dillon, if he's fully healthy, could provide that much-needed punch in the backfield. The coaching staff has shown they're willing to give opportunities to players who can contribute on multiple levels, and Dillon's versatility fits that mold. But he'll have to compete not just with the other backs but also with the special teams units, coaches' preferences, and how he performs under pressure. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Dylan can bounce back from his injury and earn a spot? Or do you think the other young players have the edge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles organization. Remember, this roster battle is just beginning, and the story will unfold throughout training camp and the preseason. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep supporting your team because big things are coming. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and behind-the-scenes insights into everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles. Whether it's roster moves, injuries, or surprises in camp, I'll be here to keep you informed. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Birds!